Varshney Prakash. I am one of the co-founders of and currently serving as the executive director for Sunrise Movement. We're endorsing Bernie Sanders for president because he has proven again and again and again that he understands this issue.
Had a very big weekend, really had a huge week. We saw huge fundraising numbers, and the most recent polls out of Iowa now show him basically.
Buenos días, tortugas. Bienvenidos al show. Reportando vivo desde Chicago, Illinois. Oi, oi. Good evening. I'm Quietly Turtles. Coming up on the program, Bernie Sanders has taken the lead in the new Des Moines Register poll, up by 3 points in Iowa. Trouble on the border as more data comes out about the asylum seekers and the rate of them turning up for their actual court dates, as Trump has made the argument that they must be detained or they won't show up for the courts. But we've got some surprising data that shows how astoundingly wrong that is. Puerto Rico has suffered 2 massive natural disasters this week, and the aid promised after Hurricane Maria is still not being distributed. So, Bernie Sanders is surging strongly. Today, Elizabeth Warren came out attacking Bernie Sanders and his campaign, fundraising off of a fake attack smear story in Politico, saying that he was actually contributing to his supporters attacking Warren. This is really going to hurt her. This story is complete fake trash. Sanders actively encourages his supporters to reach out to other candidate supporters. He focuses on the policy, not on the personality. And so this is not going to be a good look for Elizabeth Warren. I predict she's going to keep on slipping in the polls. And, she might get a nugget here in New Hampshire if she's lucky, getting 15% there. But I predict that after Sanders wins, he'll start to snowball as he takes these wins in the early states in Iowa, New Hampshire, and hopefully he surges enough in South Carolina to put up a good fight with Biden there, as he's the clear number 2 there. He's got a strong surge in California. He's been up 5 points since December, so he's poised to win the nomination. This is the first time where people are pretty confident that if this trend continues, if the supporters don't wane, that he'll cruise, that he will have a strong finish. So Elizabeth Warren is taking the strategy to fundraise off of this smear story in the Politico. Several people have looked into it, and there's nothing of substance in there. Bernie Sanders always encourages people to stick to the policy, not to attack personalities, especially not his fellow Democratic running mates.
I was disappointed to hear that Bernie is sending his volunteers out to trash.
Not to attack Elizabeth Warren, but she and her campaign are not looking good today after this story came out. I predict a strong showing for Sanders. People have been following my podcast. This is now a YouTube podcast, but people have been following me. I've been talking about Bernie Sanders surging for quite a while, and I guess we're on the other side of the Bernie blackout now. The strategy seems to be to now build up an overconfidence in Bernie followers to keep us from working as hard as we have been to bust through this blackout. So we need to keep this constant flow of information going strong, not to just to keep us encouraged and our morale up to loyal listeners and followers of the Sanders cult, but also to newcomers. Moving on to another important story, what's going on in Puerto Rico. Just to highlight that, there's hundreds and thousands of people there waiting for crucial aid. They were waiting since after Hurricane Maria. They had aid promised to them, which still hasn't been distributed. And now with 2 additional natural disasters, people are really starting to demand more from this United States regarding its treatment of Puerto Rico, its colonial past, and how it continues to operate like it's a kingdom operating a subject colony without actually giving it its protections. So it's a dang shame what's going on here, and we need everyone to turn out and continue the surge to give us a strong Democratic nominee to take on Trump. In my opinion, Bernie Sanders is the only one who's strong enough, who's qualified enough to take him on and to embarrass him in the general election. And so I encourage you all to reach out and keep having those important conversations that you need to. We're going to also be talking about this recent story that doctors in Illinois are now warning us to not associate with anyone who smokes pot, to not even look at another Cheech and Chong billboard unless we can bust into delicious nuggets that the sky gods can consume. So be careful out there. There's a lot of baby boomers who are out there who may have flirted with Mary Jane in the 90s and are now coming back. And, I'm just going to advise you to take it slow. Take it slow. Just one puff is enough. Visit BernieSanders.com and chill out, important story also related. Travelers caught with weed in Chicago airports won't be busted. If you get busted by the TSA, they're just going to contact the CPD and follow their advice. And from the sounds of it, the CPD is not even going to make you throw your weed away. They're not even going to bother with arresting people. So there you go. Illinois. Keep hiding the good stuff. And we're going to be talking about what's going on down at the border. New asylum data is showing that 99% of non-detained asylum seekers attend every hearing, which brings the question, why are people being detained at all if the risks are so low? Are we really trading 1% of people getting away for keeping 100% of kids locked up? Story in the NPR is reporting a migrant winning an immigration court and being deported anyway. And it's a shame, because these people wait months, they travel thousands of miles, they got all this heat, and they do everything right, and you still just got toyed around with by these perfect, amazing patriots. Also on the border, a couple days ago, a horrible report of a Mexican immigrant who unfortunately decided to take his own life after he was denied entry into that port. They are investigating as to what caused this, their mental state, or what his situation was. But yeah, it just tells you a lot when someone would rather take his own life than to go back to, what does he have to go back to? I mean, you don't know everything. You just need to keep trust in people that if they're asking for help, or they need help, and you should at least give them some help and not put them in a cage, or just not give them any help and just not put them in a cage. I don't know why that is so hard to understand, but alright, thanks for watching Kids in Cages tonight. I'll see you next time. And as we come into debate tomorrow, we're going to be bringing you updates after that. It appears as though Cory Booker has also dropped out of the race. So that's a shame. I like Cory Booker for a second there. I didn't like how fake he was, but he is generally in the one of the good guys, I guess. But yeah, too much identity politics out of Cory Booker. I don't think he focused enough on the issues that actually matter to people, bringing people out of wealth disparity, providing abundant protections through healthcare, and just taking strong stances on Medicare for all, which he also waned on and ultimately attacked. So, no loss there. There's plenty of other great candidates out there. Cory Booker, we're not really going to miss you that much. It's regressive to not attack people on their policy and to just focus on the character, the veneer, and some sort of false woke exterior that may be shining from them like a woke beacon. Do not fall for that. Do not chase those woke sirens. Do you focus on what you can do for you and your community, for your family, and that is usually a good place to start as far as progressive justice seeking policy and where to grow it from. So let's keep on rooting for the good guys here as grassroots movements takes off, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching Kids in Cages tonight. This will be canceled. Good night. Sanders definitely has to go a lot harder in the upcoming debate here on Tuesday, which is going to take place in Iowa. He needs to go a lot harder after Biden. We already know his weakness is vote on the Iraq War, as well as voting for a lot of bills that led to the mass incarceration of Black Americans and Mexicans and other people of color. It's a shame that people are not more aware of the destruction that Joe Biden, Uncle Joe, has caused on the communities of color especially. Warren, I predict, will not win any state until... I don't think she's going to win any state, to be honest. I think she'll get a nugget in New Hampshire, and that's it. Like, she's going to cross the 15% threshold, and she's going to lose steam, and her supporters are going to back either Biden or Sanders, and I predict more of her supporters are going to back Sanders and give him that edge to take it. By Super Tuesday, it should be over. There should be a clear winner, with California and Texas dropping the hammer that day. And all sides are pointing to Bernie Sanders, Bernardo Sanders, Theo Sanders winning California. He's got a surge going on right now. He's up 5% in the last month. And Biden is just at the same place. Elizabeth Warren, of course, has been sacrificed for Sanders' gains. And we want some more of that. It's tasty Native American carcass of Elizabeth Warren as we eat the rest of her heritage that's not native. 99% of Elizabeth Warren is still white. Keep Elizabeth Warren. Elizabeth Warren's chant is, "We are 1% Native American. We are 1% Native American." Pete Buttigieg is a funny name. I'm just going to take the low-hanging fruit there and not comment any further. Just like I'm just going to say Trump is bad and not comment any further and seem like a genius for it, because that's a really astute observation. Bernie Sanders is going to be the winner of this primary, I predict, and it will be over on Super Tuesday in March. So make sure you're getting out there and canvassing if you can, or making calls, and most of all registering to vote and calling your friends and bugging them to come over and give you a cup of sugar, and then you can tell them that you need to be adopted and they should adopt you, and then you can be the unruly teenager in their house that is super lefty and rides skateboards, and you can tag the side of your newly adopted parents' house, who are your friends, tag it all with Bernie Sanders propaganda, and get all the kids in your neighborhood voting for him. That's what needs to happen. And Bernie Sanders needs to go after Joe Biden and Joe Biden, and he needs to bite down on biting Biden. You've never been bitten until you've been ridden by Biden. Alright, that's all I got for you tonight. Thank you for watching the Turtles program. Gracias. Vamos a estar poniendo este programa en español también, y los güeritos se pueden dormir y tomar un napo. So Amy Klobuchar, the Great White Hope, writing strongly at 7%. White people are in the news again, as Amy Klobuchar, the Great White Hope, is showing a strong 7%, 5th place in New Hampshire this week. And she's actually been trending upward since November. So, I'm sorry, girlfriend. Amy Klobuchar is a thing. Okay? So, this has been a Pritzker Foundation funded presentation. Thank you, Governor Pritzker. We love you.